use this as a informational type
Yeah.
meeting for Clare County.
Workshop.
We'll call it a workshop for Clare County IT.
Sounds good.
Mhm.
Okay.
Can you guys put your video feed on, please? We can't see you.
Because we're not here. Zooming from home.
There you go.
Hi.
Hello.
You can make sure you put on your quorum. May have to
Okay.
repeat that, Jeff, because I hadn't even started recording yet.
Okay. Yeah, repeat.
Okay, we don't have enough for quorum, so we're going to use this as a workshop to discuss Clare County IT. And Jesse?
All right. So we had kind of led into this from the last board meeting that we had, and just kind of as a recap for everyone, I think we had talked about a lot of tickets not getting addressed in as timely a manner as we would like them to. And essentially that boils down to us having a lot more work than work.
Right.
Really, it boils down to us needing more staff. And IT Right gave a pretty good presentation here, and I really like what they had to say. And I ended up meeting with him after the meeting, and he seems to have a lot to offer. And I really think that IT Right coming in and working for the department sounds like a pretty great idea. His emphasis was on IT Right coming in and working with the existing IT department and essentially backpatting us to give us more hands on deck to get the job done that we need to do.
And that's what you need. Yeah.
And that's what we need.
Okay. Now cost. Did he give any kind of figures at all
I'm
regarding,
going to get that to Lori. Did he get you that yet?
but just, we knew that just for Lori's, Lori's office, it was about how much? 9,000?
It was 12.
12. Okay. All right. And you figured in your department, you could, that was budgetable.
Because you
there
have
wasn't any.
funds.
Yeah, you have extra funds there.
Okay. And then would,
Well, I'll have to double check with the attorney because that was for, because my IT needs weren't being met and I needed it for that purpose. But just to contribute towards the entire county, I have to check with him because he said for that specific reason, it is allowable.
Well, yeah.
If you kept a time log or a log,
No, I'll check with the attorney.
you know what I mean, for,
Potentially could bill you out the IT hours and then you could pay for the build out hours out of your automation fund.
Okay. All right, I'll check with him and see.
Okay. Would you have that by the next meeting? Okay. And then I was wondering, the services that you were gonna, I wanted to hire them for to provide, would it be the same services if we got it into the whole courthouse?
I believe it would.
Okay. Does that, what you think? Yes.
Not quite. He was indicating that the $13,000 to $14,000, however much it was for the 6-ish register of deeds computers, was if they were going to be doing everything.
Okay.
So he was saying it would be significantly cheaper per device per user because they wouldn't be doing everything, because we would still be doing the high level planning. We'd still have our own web filtering, our own
Okay.
security software.
Okay.
It would be more than the $14,000 organization wide, because
Yes.
we have around 200 to 250 computers, but it'd be cheaper per computer because they would be providing kind of the first tier help desk boots on the ground support while letting us do our
Okay.
IT department.
This apply to the sheriff's department?
Yes.
And does the sheriff's department have funds somewhere where they could pay for this extra support service that we're contemplating?
Do you know what the portion is? Jeff?
no, we don't know what.
I don't know what the portion is yet because we haven't been given a total yet, but
Once you have everything, can you just let me know and I'd have to look at it?
yeah, we can certainly do that. And we can pull a report for how many users and computers we have and
Yes, that would.
size of the department, see what it would look like if we were to kind of bill everybody out fairly.
Okay. Okay.
That's what I was waiting for, as far as the figures, so that, because there's a couple other departments I can reach out to too.
Okay, great, great, okay. I think we're really onto something here, and I think this will help every department if we can.
Absolutely. And if we can get some back padding for the IT department, get an extra set of hands to get a lot of our ticket load done, that's going to free up not only myself, but Josh to work on a lot of projects. I've got a lot of projects done or that need to be done for, replacing servers. We recently just finished up a NetMotion migration. We're trying to roll out COVID laptops. I need to get two-factor authentication implemented. We just did a bunch of cabling projects. We need to finish getting our 2008 servers replaced. We're still working on getting our Windows 7 computers replaced. And some of those projects are for me, some of those projects are for Josh. And the more time that we have to work on projects, the faster those things can get done.
Did we get any grant money for any of that or no?
No, not really. Unfortunately, and unless somebody out there they're listening can correct me, we don't really seem to get a lot of IT specific grants. People who tend to get grants are people like prosecutor departments and medical services.
I think
And
there are
others.
IT specific grants. I just pulled something up on my service here.
If it has one, that'd be music to my ears.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll find it and,
Okay,
Mhm.
I think that would be really good if we could.
That'd be great.
Okay, maybe we could get Lori Phelps too.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, she's gonna be sick of
I
me.
wonder if it isn't,
She's-
because of all the Zoom and everything goes on, some of that couldn't be attributed to COVID. COVID relief out there, and maybe some of that could be added to that.
Right.
Yeah, is there COVID money to work with
There's,
computers? for
there
our
still
services?
is, because they,
We've been trying to use the COVID money for the Zoom. And I think we used equipment portion of it under our state revenue sharing because we had to relate that all to COVID.
Uh-huh.
But as far as the monthly payments, we have not.
Okay,
So can you check on that, Tracy? Because you told me you didn't use this equipment for revenue sharing.
Okay, I'll have to look at it.
To me to use for my grant, and Jenny questioned it and said she thought it was used for revenue sharing too.
Let me look at it. 'Cause I may not have, because I have that stuff all. I'll go grab that real quick.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it seems the way a lot of the grants are written is they seem to have to be for a specific purpose. So if we try to roll IT out across the board, we're doing it for multiple purposes, and that doesn't really fit within a lot of grants very easily.
all right, that makes sense.
Now, the whole IT right thing, maybe let's explain that again. I think maybe me and you had this conversation, but they're gonna take care of a boatload of small issues
Yep.
that, and that's going to free you up to do this, but walk us through before what the problem was. Is it all these, there's just so much going on, you didn't have time to get to any of it, and they'll take care of that by getting rid of the easy stuff they can do in a mass process type of way, something like that.
Pretty much. We have so many break fix items, and what is often called getting hey-you'd is when you're out working on something and somebody grabs you and says, hey, can you fix this while you're here? And if you look at our ticket queue, we have so many tickets that come in. They're coming in just as fast as we're closing them out. We can close out, 10, 20 tickets in a day and look at our ticket queue at the end of the day, and the total number of tickets hasn't changed.
And I think a lot of that has to do with what's going on now, for instance, my wife works at the RESD and she's in, the new online schooling and all that kind of stuff. She's implementing that and she can't keep up. She's calling it, she's got job security for the rest of her life because of all the tickets that are coming in. And,
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, and the other issue that comes in is when we've only got 2 people in the IT department, and 2 people seem to be able to keep up with the break fix ticket load, but we don't get projects done as fast as what we need to get them done when we have 2 people. Big problem is when one of us is sick or when one of us has a doctor's appointment. I had COVID back in November. Josh had COVID this month. So that's a month worth of work just gone.
right.
And then AT Wright would take care of like the ticket jobs and they can do those remotely?
They can do some of them remotely because they actually do have the BOMGAR remote access software, which is what I would like us to eventually have here. But they can handle those tickets remotely. But in talking to Tom from IT Right, it's entirely likely that we're going to have an IT Right technician here on site because we can
Wow,
give them access to our ticket queue or send them a certain number of tickets to where they have enough
to come
Just-
up.
drive out and
Got it. Okay. And you have a little desk or something for them to use?
we'll find a place for them.
Okay.
Well, and aren't we gonna go to their ticket processing?
We can go to their ticket processing, but I think it would be better for our users if we stay with our ticket processing. Because we have a lot of people, like the prosecutor department and the courts, that really rely on us to be able to hop up from our desk right now and go take care of a priority issue when something's not working and they're in court and they need something right now versus putting a ticket in and waiting for somebody to drive here.
Got it. Okay.
So we want to have the best of both worlds, and that we want the extra help from IT Right, but we also want the immediate response of having a person in the building from the IT department right now when you need it.
And then how far away are they? That, the person to get here, because correct me if I'm wrong, they're not going to be in here when the courtroom is open, the courthouse is open, but they'll wait till they have a bundle of tickets and then send somebody over. How far away is that?
I'm not sure how far away the particular person they would be
Okay.
dispatching is. I have heard that there is somebody from IT Right who lives local to the Harrison area.
Okay,
So he might be a similar response time as if Josh and I were at home and coming in for an emergency.
okay,
But ideally, how I'd like it to work, and I need some input from IT Right on this, is I'd like to schedule them out certain days to come.
yes, good,
Because we've got more than enough work that we could assign them specific days to come here,
okay,
and they won't be bored.
all right, okay,
If I could wade in on that discussion a little bit, the way it works in Gladwin, same thing like we do over here.
Who's speaking?
This is Daryl Schlaze,
Okay,
from the court. I'll turn on my video so you get to, I finally got myself back in the center. I don't know where you guys are at. Hit the HD button and here I am. Anyway, what we do in Gladwin,
That problem.
yeah, what we do in Gladwin, which IT Right is our go-to people, like we are over here with IT. Same thing. We get on IT Right website, tell them what's going on. Usually that same day, one of their, I think you mentioned the other day, 50 people will get back with us, and it's all done via email for the most part. And what's going on, a lot of like Jesse said, they can, they'll remote into our computers over there, and the majority of the stuff they can fix while they're sitting wherever they're sitting. And like I say, they just
Great.
remote in, take over our computer and do it. If not, usually within a day or two, they will be on site. It's a scheduling thing, just like it is with, IT and Claire. I'm sure they sort of triage what's going on. But as Jesse said, I mean, if we can just still do our tickets through IT Claire and they can pass it on to IT Right, I'm sure that will work equally as efficient. And I don't want to speak for Michelle. I see she's on here probably monitoring as well. And there are times when we get a hold of IT Claire, it's like, we need help now because we're shut down for whatever reason. And it would be nice having someone on site. And like Jesse said, if he, works out where they're going to be here every Tuesday and Thursday, the rote mundane things can be addressed at that time. But there are times when we need help and we need it now.
yes,
Not that we're the only one in the county, and we understand that. But anyways, that's how IT Right works over in Gladwin. It's just basically the same thing we do with IT Claire.
Well, kind of my understanding all that was with their ticket queue is they would take and all the stuff that they can do immediately. They would take care of that. So then the ticket queue we would get would be a lot smaller.
yeah.
If that's the
Yeah,
way,
that
but if
sounded
we're
more
generating
streamlined.
all our ticket queues through IT Claire, they're still gonna have all those on their list, and then they'll disseminate them out. Okay, IT Right, you do this, we'll do that, like I say, so the ticket for IT, Claire, may still remain high and the same. It's just they'll have extra people to help them out. It's the way I understand it, that's what Jesse's saying.
And that's probably let the people that know what's going on figure that out. I guess that's micromanaging for me to even guess, so. Yeah.
I mean, that's their job.
Yep.
Yeah.
I believe Genesee County actually does something similar. They have an IT director. That's kind of their one-man show there, but they've had their IT department with IT right. And I believe they schedule their IT right person to be on site certain days of the week so that he can still schedule doctor's appointments and vacation time and those sorts of things. So I know that IT right is kind of flexible on how they do that sort of thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. We have, usually there's someone around because they'll get an IM in the morning. Hey, has anybody seen, Caleb or whoever from IT right? So I think they do have, like you say, fairly regularly scheduled days to physically be in the county. But like, you obviously you'll be working all that out.
Mhm.
So if we're gonna take anything from this, we probably should, bring to the board next meeting. Number one would be cost,
Right.
and if we can come up with the money. And number two is that I think we've got people on board that they will make this relationship work because it's gonna help everybody out. In the beginning, I don't think everybody was on board to wanting to do this, but now I feel that everybody's on board, so it should fly. We're not wasting money.
It's the money that makes us shy, I think, because things are tight, but if we could work it around.
And then I think we should have Lori take a check, because I just, on the bulletin I've got here, the CRF funds, any other COVID-19 related expenses reasonably necessary to the function of the local government that complies with CRF guidance that includes transfer of funds from state and local government, i.e. counties, and recovery planning. So I'm thinking, hey, transfer of funds, IT, recovery planning, right? I think Lori should check into it.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I'm trying to figure out which grant you're using, because
CRF funds.
we've already used them.
Don't we get it? I don't think it's done.
For them.
Everything?
Yes,
We can't get any more?
no,
We can't.
no. We did the CRF funds through the CESF, which is the MSP, Michigan State Police.
All right.
There were 3 grants through that, which were for courts, prosecutor, and the sheriff's department. We did those. CRF funds through the revenue sharing, which was a total of $245,494, which we used COVID for that.
And we got the full amount.
Yeah. And we reported on that, and now we're waiting to hear back from CDBG, which is the Community Development Block Grant.
Yeah.
And we're looking at roughly 150,000 in that. There's up to 180 in that one, but we're waiting to see what we're gonna get for what we reported.
Yeah, and that wouldn't.
And no,
Apply.
Zoom was not used. I have it. I made a special note to myself that it was not used. So we've got, it's over $5,000 for the billing and for the hardware.
Okay,
So if you want to use that,
because what you gave me was 3,800.
okay, I'll just see what I got.
Together again.
Okay,
We
we did not use it.
for a year to have everybody on board, yeah. Okay. Huh. Well, that's interesting. I didn't know we spent it all. Jeez.
We've been pushing to get money back.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we can
Yeah.
Bring it back to the county.
I wonder if the new bill that the president's working on to get passed will have more of that kind of money.
Well, that, according to that $1 trillion plan he's proposing, we should have something, I would think. Well, I think there was some county
Yeah.
stuff in there.
We can't count on that, but still,
No,
yeah, but if we get started.
but we'll keep watching for that, and Lori.
I think it would apply.
Lori was getting that, trying to get a grant for
that video thing that Michelle talked
Right,
about.
right. You
On
checked on
Wednesday.
that and you,
So she keeps looking for more money for us, so.
okay. Did she make the deadline? Was the 20th, I think,
She
was?
couldn't use that one, but she was looking at a different one.
Good, okay. Wait,
Okay.
Yeah.
Another kind of question for you, just in case IT right does come back a little bit more expensive than what we're looking for, would we also want to price out getting a third person for the IT department from Kelly Services and compare that to the cost of a direct hire, just so we're kind of looking at it from the 3 quotes mindset?
We've done that before. I remember from,
That's how Josh started.
Mhm.
okay.
Lori, did you hear what his proposal was?
I did.
What do you
I
think?
don't know anything about Kelly Services.
Okay,
You have to hire them on at a certain point.
No, you don't have to do a direct hire from Kelly Services. And a lot of times people will hope you direct hire them from Kelly Services. Those people might want to move on after a year or two if you don't direct hire them, just because they're probably going to see higher wages when they get hired on directly versus going through the staffing company. But they tend to be a low cost way to get another employee for your agency. So if IT right were to come back with a quote that's more expensive than what it would cost us to either direct hire a third person or get somebody from Kelly Services in here, would we want to consider either of those 2 options?
I think we need to consider the experience that comes with IT, right? And
Right.
having to train them on every
yeah,
department's software, because everybody has different software we hire.
Mhm.
And consider that we just did all those early retirements with the understanding we're not going to hire more people for 2 years.
Mhm.
And adding more people to the county payroll as more benefits and. retirement,
that's true too.
adding to all of
Looking at
that.
benefits and,
So just keep that in mind as well when you're making a
Well,
decision.
Why don't we just see what it comes back as?
Right.
I'm sure it's coming back soon.
And I've already got the numbers from Jody with what the complete cost of an employee is, plus all the benefits and everything that it would cost to basically hire another Josh.
Right.
So if IT right were to come back more expensive than hiring another Josh, would we want to pay more money just to have this IT right? Or would we want to consider adding a third person, even if we're paying benefits to them, if it's cheaper for the county overall?
Mhm.
we'll just have to look at it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Kind of get the 3 quotes and see what direction.
Does she include the retirement in there as well? Because that's a huge expense that just adds every year to 30 years or however long they work.
Mhm. Yeah, that was the total amount that the employee cost us for every line item in BSNA for that employee.
Well, I don't think that the retirement would be in that then. Because that's compounded.
I just say we see where they come in at. I kind of like this direction, to be honest with you.
yeah,
So we're
Yeah.
waiting for a quote from IT, right?
I think we need to get the quote and then
Do they know, are they?
whoever's gonna help us with that, I mean, whether Tracy or Lori, do we have the money? Can we afford it? It's the big thing.
right.
And now that it's gonna be through the whole courthouse, I think we gotta, see where everybody can pitch in to make that work.
Okay,
Yeah.
but IT, right, is working on a quote for us?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and did they give us a timeline on when they might have that?
By the next
I
meeting.
thought he was gonna have it to Lori for this meeting.
No, I didn't think he said he would have it for this.
No, I thought he did, but
Okay.
okay.
All
Did
right,
you say by next meeting? I think that's what he,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to think so. I don't recall him giving a specific date, but I know he said he was working on it.
St. Patrick's Day.
The next meeting,
is that
but
our next meeting?
Lori, if you get
Yeah.
that, can you
Well,
let me know what that is? So.
It's my husband's favorite holiday.
Okay, and just so you know, I thought that Zoom stuff was used up because I had given that to Lori Phelps and thought she was using that on one of hers, but she didn't end up using it.
As long as you're sure.
I am
I don't
positive.
want to get into trouble for double.
Nope, I got my notes.
Okay.
So I said, not used.
Okay, and then how much is the Zoom money or whatever that, how much is in that?
It's over 5,000.
Oh, okay, all right.
That's with the Zoom hardware and the Zoom billings for a certain period,
Okay.
which I can get with her on that too.
We have a
And-
subscription to Zoom, we pay for that, and then how much is that?
107 a month.
Oh, that's not bad.
107.29.
And that covers all Zoom meetings
Yep.
in the building. Okay.
Including the court.
The court has their own Zoom accounts, but the two that we're paying for is everybody that's not court. And then the sheriff department is paying their own bill for theirs since they have so many inmates that have to
Right.
interface with the courts.
All right.
But we have two licenses for general purpose use. That's not sheriff department and not court.
Was meeting it.
Okay.
Then.
And all of those separate accounts are
I need to make it.
100 and whatever a month.
I forgot about this. I got a lot to
A
do.
little bit extra for the room connector that allows us to interface with Polycoms.
Gotcha.
But other than that, our second license only cost us $15 a month just because it doesn't require the extra features that we need.
Okay, good. All right. Can I ask if we're done talking about that just for a second? I had two questions, so he could explain something to me. Just give me a definition. What is bomb guard?
So BombGuard is the brand name of a piece of software. I believe they've rebranded themselves as Beyond Trust. And that's kind of an overarching company name for remote desktop support software that allows a technician to remote into your computer, securely encrypted, meets all the security requirements from FIPS and CGIS and everybody else to remote access your computer.
So it's bomb guard, not bomb guard.
I believe it's BombGuard, BOMGAR.
Okay,
It is.
Yep.
Our software company at work uses it all the time.
okay, and you like it, yeah.
Well, you just sit back and look at your screen and they go through your whole computer and figure
Okay.
out what you did wrong.
Yep.
It's
Look it
a
up.
wonderful tool set and we've looked into getting that here, but with all the budget cuts and everything that just
Can't do it.
out of our price range.
There's a bunch of different ones out there of the same thing though.
Oh, yeah.
All right, and then my other question was about security. If AT Wright was helping us and had to go into our computers and stuff, are they like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, how secure is that?
They're trained and certified with all of the basic CGIS requirements and everything because they do help sheriff departments around the state.
Right.
Mhm.
That being said, with them working for us, they would be accountable to us and they'd be accountable to the IT department. So I'm fairly comfortable with them reporting to me, accessing our
Okay,
computers. It really wouldn't be that much different than hiring a person off the street because you have to trust that person and give that person the administrative credentials to do stuff on your network too.
okay, so we don't have to worry about them getting into like personnel files and things like that, and,
They're going to have access to it, but it's no different than trusting your IT people not to go poking around at it.
Well, I
okay,
spoke with John about that too, and he said that there would be background checks and fingerprinting and all that stuff to be done
okay,
because I'm lean.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay. That's good, I just want to know.
And I'm sure they're probably familiar with that anyway, working with other counties.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And that's why we try really hard as IT people professionally to build trust with our customers because the relationship doesn't work without trust because we can't do our job without having access to see those things, but we're not going to go snooping around and spy on people.
Okay,
So that's
all right,
kind of the
All right.
IT trust relationship.
all right, got it.
Okay.
Mhm.
Anything else you want us to know, Jeff? Or-
Well,
Rick has a couple questions that we might want to answer for him.
sure.
Okay,
The question Rick has, because he's tied up at work and can't make it. So we'll just highlight some. We've went over these, I think. What is the root cause of the delays? It's too much work
Right.
for the people we have.
Right.
Who sets the priority list for the IT tasks? Is that your job to see what's more important
Yep.
on down? Okay. What deems the order of the IT tasks? So you say what's important and that's kind of the order they're in, correct? Or,
Pretty much, and generally the template I use is emergency services, life and limb things like dispatch. They get first priority, and then things that are required that are big money makers, those are the second priority. We give the courts and the jail and everybody else a lot of priority just because you know, if we don't roll out like a Zoom laptop for the jail and then they can't bring more inmates in because the inmates aren't hitting their court appearance, then we're going to be losing money.
Okay.
Third priority is everybody else that needs to do their job. And then the last priority is things that if you can work around the issue, but still get your job done,
Mhm.
probably going to see a little bit slower response time from it. So we try to triage the request as emergency services, big money makers, things that you need to get your job done, and then everything else afterwards.
So then everything else afterwards is the thing that hurts because not enough manpower to get to those tasks.
Exactly. And then the category of everything else afterwards, when you get enough stuff piling up, tends to grow into, well, we've been working around this long enough and now it's an irritation and we need it to get our job done now.
Yeah, so I can see it.
Yeah.
You know, the age we're in, and I feel Lori's frustration too, the age we're in right now. When your computer's down,
Yeah,
you're like lost.
Yeah.
It's almost sad to me in a way, but it's the truth.
can't imagine.
Our point of sale goes out at the lumberyard. It's like, we're sitting there, what do? We can't even price anything anymore. We're that reliant on it. So,
You can kind of only work around for so.
yeah, exactly. It's crazy. So.
Yeah.
I think this is an important issue myself to address and get it right,
Yes,
Mhm.
because as we continue forward, I can see more and more of this
well,
being
more and more necessary.
yep.
It definitely is, and it's a top priority. We should have.
Absolutely.
I have a question. All those 5 things that you listed, your priority list there, are any of those projects? Because you've always talked about getting the projects done and then taking care of the tickets. So do any of those qualify as projects?
No, that was just how I prioritize responses coming in for the ticket.
For the ticket.
Somebody
Okay,
calls us.
I got it. Okay.
And Lori's down on the list, right? And she's
Bottom of the book.
she's at the bottom of the pile.
A lot of Lori's stuff is fitting into the category of we've been doing the workaround for so long, it's an irritation and it's causing job performance issues because the workaround is taking too long to get our job done.
Sure.
I can't even do my job without.
Yeah, yeah,
I think all this is good to solve the problem.
exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I do feel that getting the little mundane tasks out of the way, something that someone's clicked the wrong switch and IT right can dial right in and take care of that. And I think that'll free up a lot of time for the issues that need to be addressed.
And a lot of our projects not only are things that would make the environment work better, but they're things that we really need to be getting done from a regulatory compliance standpoint. Windows 7 and Windows Server 2008 has already been end of life. We should have already had all of those replaced. The 2-factor authentication we were talking about, we're supposed to have that for our remote work for the courts and the sheriff department and everybody else. They want to see us having 2-factor authentication for our remote workers, but we haven't had time to get 2-factor implemented because we've been too busy doing all these other things. So our auditors would love to see us have somebody to come in and get a lot of the break fix stuff done so that we can actually tick all those boxes that are gonna
Okay.
do all the things that they want us to be doing.
Do we have money budgeted for those, like the updates and things like that you were just talking about?
No,
No.
If I
Gee,
can just kind of pipe in, I'm late. I'm sorry. I had a different legislative meeting I had to be at. But if we could just get those figures of what it would cost for anything regarding
that's-
IT, there could be something totally different we do regardless of what's in the budget or what's
Yeah.
budgeted. I think we can make something work, whether we have to
Great,
get a
great.
loan or whatever it is, or we can work together with departments. I just want to make
Yeah.
sure that you guys are aware of that.
That's what we asked, and he's going to provide it. He said that hopefully by the next meeting, so.
Well,
Well,
she's talking.
She's talking about the
Something
server
different.
replacements and
Oh, server.
I'm talking about all of
Okay.
it. I'm talking
Everything.
about all of
Everything.
it because, with us having to do everything virtually now, it's so important to get the Windows fixes. It's important, whatever it costs to get all of that stuff done. I mean, we
Okay.
went into this crazy technical world that we really need to figure out how to get it done.
And just so you're aware, Jenny, we've got the ball rolling on the quotes, and Remen is putting together a list of what we need and pricing for all of that. And as soon as that comes in, it'll be going out for RFP. So we've already kind of met with them, run the tools we need to identify our network needs. And we've had a couple of video conferences with various vendors that want to ask questions to help size things for our network. So the ball is well rolling on that. And I would hope to have some figures for it pretty soon,
Perfect.
at least for the server replacement side of it.
And you said get a loan?
Well, not necessarily get a loan. I'm just saying there's other ways we can work around it, finance it, if we have
Okay.
to get a
Again,
lead.
All right.
Grants are
but we
gonna be
need-
out there.
We just need to know, how much it is we need to get
Yeah,
back
we-
on track.
We're getting the numbers. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And we discussed that, Jenny, so,
Awesome. I apologize. I had that other meeting, so
oh,
I'm
not a problem. That's how you catch up. So that's all good. But
sorry.
but
Thank
we
you.
did address that, and hopefully by our next meeting, we'll have some numbers and be able to okay stuff going forward. I think,
Great.
like you just said, with all the virtual stuff and everything now, I think it's gonna be a new way of doing business.
It
so.
is. It's really a big priority.
Mhm.
You brought up RFPs. I wanted to ask, where do we advertise?
In the local newspapers and the county website. And then depending on what kind of an RFP it is, trying to push out to like, say it's construction, you have a state construction site or something to that effect, you can put it on there, those types of things.
By local newspapers, you're talking about Clear, Gladwin,
No, the Cleaver and the Review,
that's it?
That's all we have in Clear County.
Yeah,
those are our
we don't
local.
go to Macasta or any of those counties that aren't too far.
No.
That's something to think
Whole
about.
thing though, too, keeping your business local if you can,
Yeah,
you know.
Mhm.
But-
Start there, yeah.
yeah.
As far as the server project goes, the company that we're working with will be sending us a list of their common competitors that they've worked with them and they've been in competition with them.
Good.
So they know who is actually capable of providing the same services that they're providing, so they can help us out with a list of people that we can direct contact them in addition to whoever else we're sending it out with too.
And that's the Remen people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and that's the other thing too, when we put out an RFP, I know, when I put one out, we're getting ready to do an RFP for the HVAC system. So not only do we post it in the papers and put it on our website, but I make copies of that and I mail it to those or email it to vendors throughout the county.
Okay, good.
So they have the opportunity
Yeah.
to
Okay.
put in a bid.
In case they missed that copy of the review.
Yeah, correct.
Good, that's good. All right.
Okay.
I have a question for you. Do you feel we're heading in the direction and we're gonna get your needs met here eventually, pretty soon?
Eventually, but
Yeah, okay.
not as quick as I would like, but
Yeah, that's true, but I mean, all right, can you think of anything else that might help? Okay,
We just got to get the figures.
okay, all right.
Okay, so.
thank you for asking. Appreciate that.
no.
Well,
Hey, you're awful needy.
I know.
I don't want to see her crying in the hallway,
Squeaky wheel doesn't always get all grease.
Sometimes they throw it away. So, yeah, okay.
I think we've answered a lot of questions. Maybe we can get some figures together and make a decision at the next meeting would be nice, so.
That would be great.
And that's not that far off.
No. Thank you very.
Jesse, thank you.
Thank you.
Stay healthy.
We're done.
Adjourned.
We're done.
Okay.
And
Adjourned.
finance
We got finance
start at 10 o'clock. So you do-
Yep.
Oh, okay.
We got 7.